Welcome to the Doom Scroll News Report here on Radio Taiwan International, where I, Amanda Stevens, just one lonely writer this week, but still political by necessity, cover some of the biggest international news stories dominating my news feed from the last week. This week, I'm going to be tackling maternity leave. What does that mean for women around the world, women in governance, and women in governance in Japan especially? And we're going to talk about, you know it, you may not love it, but it's happening anyway, America's 250th birthday. And here to help me tackle both of those things with, I was going to say infinite patience, but I actually don't think that these are topics you and I tend to be very patient about, is my friend, fellow woman, fellow reluctant American, Michelle Chiang.
I have nowhere near infinite patience.
Do you feel like the introductions are getting better or worse every time that you come on my shows?
Well, I mean, I think that's the sentiment.
Accurate?
Accurate. That's accurate. It's accurate. I mean, the entire time you do the introduction, I'm here with like a squinch face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that, but I think these are going to be really good conversations.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So it's great that you're here today to discuss these with me, because they're not necessarily topics that I picked specifically because I like to cater to you. But I do think that these are topics you and I have discussed a lot, just sort of in general, and especially off and on during the much less serious show here in Taiwan, as we're always together on these Mondays and Fridays. But we're going to get started by talking about a story that is, I feel like it's been in the making for some time now, might be the best way to put it.
Okay.
And I'm going to start by asking you a question that is a little bit triggering.
Okay. Let me have it.
Yeah. What jobs do you think should not be held by pregnant women? And which should be exempt from maternity or paternity leave?
Oh, yeah, a little triggering.
A little bit. But this is a question I want, if you're at home, if you're with somebody else, take a second and think about it.
I do think those are two separate questions.
They are.
Understanding how perilous certain occupations are, for example, industrial diving.
So industrial diving, not for pregnant women.
Yeah. Basically jobs like that where there is little to no data about how it would affect an unborn child.
It's probably tank driver, jackhammer operator.
Jackhammer operator might not be a good one.
All these jobs.
Yes, medication, drugs testing.
I guess medication, drugs testing where you would have to ingest it specifically, because you could still be a scientist.
You could.
Like in a lab.
Yes. You
right?
can't be the subject.
So what I'm hearing from you is like jobs that should not be held by pregnant women should be jobs that would put them in physical harm's way.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Do those jobs count as jobs that should be exempt from maternity leave?
No.
So
I can't think of a single
people
one.
who can be pregnant should still be allowed to hold those jobs and then get maternity leave while they have them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't think any job should be exempt from maternity leave?
No. And to specify, like, for example, if you're a person who has like an industrial diver job, right?
Sure.
Paternity leave, because you should still be able to take paternity leave in case your partner needs you to be at home.
And they will.
And they
We've
will.
just normalized letting you suffer by yourself.
Exactly. So no job should be exempt from paternity leave.
Okay, got it. Now, right. I started with these questions because these are questions that a lot of people are asking currently right now in Japan. And especially around the idea of holding public office. And we're going to start this by talking about Japan, but I will use it to like open up a conversation about these ideas more broadly, because I think a lot of countries around the world, including Taiwan and the USA and many others, would benefit from a similar discussion. But Japan is a particularly interesting case for these things because it consistently ranks as the lowest G7 country for gender equality compared to many of their other like fellow nations.
Right.
So I want to tell you about a woman I admire, Shoko Kawada. This is a woman who made history in 2023 as the youngest elected female mayor in Japan in history. She was 33, succeeding the previous mayor at 71. Now, she's made history again this week, but also kind of this month, because she has decided to take maternity leave, making her the first mayor in Japan to do so ever. Right. Something you should know as I continue is that female representation in government in Japan is very low, and among, I forget what the word is, but especially in like lower level government, it's 4%.
What?
Of all of like the mayoral level government.
4%?
4%.
Versus Taiwan has
an unusually high level of Actually, Taiwan, I believe, is at not municipal. That's it. At the municipal level, it's 4%.
Okay.
It's a little higher at higher levels, but it's a municipal level. It's at 4%. Taiwan, at like higher levels of government, is actually around 50,
Right.
which is unusually high.
But
So just bear this in mind.
4.
4. It's a single digit. I know, it's shocking, but I want you to bear that in mind. I'm going to double check that, and then we'll have to go back and look at this again, but I'm sure it's 4. She made this decision after she discovered she was pregnant earlier this year, because she was elected in 2023, remember, so it's not like she's been pregnant this whole time.
Yeah.
She announced her plan. She personally announced her plan earlier this week, and everybody in her office where she was working was very supportive. And she said she'll be taking off 2 months before her due date and 2 months after. Now, Japan does have what seems to be kind of like an 8-week maternity leave policy for 2 months after you give birth, but there is no structure for this for any elected members of government. It just doesn't exist. That doesn't extend to them. A lot of people around outside of her office were also really happy when she announced this, and they called her a trailblazer. And she even received gifts like baby shoes and like lucky stones when she announced it. But there has also been backlash online so bad that she's taken a break from social media. On the day of her announcement, the New York Times reports that her city hall received 90 messages in favor of her decision to take maternity leave and 70 messages opposed. Her most outspoken critic is a retired general and nationalist politician, Toshio Tamagami, who, among other things, said that he was uncomfortable with a politician taking such a long leave of absence, even going so far as to say that pregnant women shouldn't run for office, writing on X, quote, "Unlike in ordinary jobs, a mayor is, so to speak, irreplaceable. To say it's my right, so I'm running regardless, I feel it would be better if they refrained from doing so." End quote. And I'll also note here that although Mayor Kawada has decided to go on maternity leave, she's designated an aide for all of her day-to-day issues, and she's still going to be involved in all of the major decision-making. So she's already arranged that.
Of course.
This is only the most recent thing that has stirred the pot in Japan about the different expectations between men and women in the workplace, as well as gender discrimination and harassment. But I'm going to end by quoting Kawada herself, who said, "Systems can be changed, but people cannot." And in another quote, she said, "I think we really need to create a society where it's so common for women to do both, take maternity leave and not take maternity leave, and to not have to choose between working and having a family."
Thank you.
That's her goal. So, Michelle, you and I are both child-free by choice, and we've talked about this a lot, like I said before, on some of our less serious shows. But what do you think all of this noise about Kawada's decision to take maternity leave and the pressure on maternity leave in general, like, what do you think about that? Kind of like, to what degree do you think that this may actually be trailblazing?
Well, it certainly is trailblazing, and I think that general can go shove it. Because it's not like she's completely absent from her role. I'm sure that she's put many communication, points, factors, people in place. So, and as you said, she is still going to be participating in major decisions.
Yeah.
So it's not like she's just gone.
I mean, the part that got me about what he said was like, you just shouldn't run for office. But I was like, it's not like she didn't like run for office with the intent to do this.
Right, of course.
But we'll get back to that later, because that's another related discussion that I have something else to say on.
But even if she were to run for office with the intent that she would also start a family, what is the matter with that? We should be able to do that.
Well, I listed him here because he's a really good example. Well, because in a lot of the articles, he's like the most outspoken critic.
Right.
She's like addressed him or like his comments by saying like, it's really disappointing to get that, but I have to move on anyway. There are a lot of other people who I think fall somewhere in the middle. Like I said, there are a lot of people who are really happy. Yeah. And the good still outweighed the bad, but it's not as much as you'd hope, like 90 to 70 if we just use that example. A lot of other like mayors or people in other similar municipal positions who are men, I will note, have said things along the lines of like, this is going to be like an interesting test of what taking this level of leave will look like for somebody in a government position.
Right.
Or expressing things along the lines of like, I'm just not sure how it's going to work, which can be supportive, but is also sometimes like a backhanded way of saying like, I don't approve of what you're doing. So, and for all of these things, we don't know. So I'm not going to say either way which one those opinions belong to.
Right.
But there's a lot of this sort of like mixed review. And I think that's why I started by asking you like what jobs should be exempt from maternity leave.
Yeah.
Because I hear this a lot when it comes to high-level government positions. People saying, well, what if you get pregnant?
So
Yeah.
is the answer, my answer anyway.
Yeah.
And if we were to reverse this and we talk about men in positions, some kind of political position, if your wife is pregnant and has a child, then you should be able to take paternity leave.
Oh, I thought you were going to reverse it in a different way.
Oh, no. Okay.
You keep going. You keep
I'm
going.
I'm okay. So
Take your
you
soapbox.
should be able to take extended paternity leave in order to go home and fulfill your responsibilities as a new father. You should be able to do that because
You should just do it.
You should just
you
do
should
it.
be told to do that.
just go
I
do
think.
that.
Like,
It's mandatory, right? In order to be a partner in a child raising situation. You have to be a 50-50 partner.
well, we've talked about this. I need to stop saying that. But like giving birth is a major medical
Huge.
event.
It is.
And the chances of complications, though much lower today, are still really high. And even when things go well, your body is going to need a lot of recovery time.
Exactly.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Right.
And we've come a long way from 1950s where women were barefoot in the kitchen baking pie and cooking babies. So it's like,
Whoa. I've never heard that one before.
sorry.
I hope you mean cooking babies like in a cute way.
Yes,
God.
in a cute way.
All
in a
right.
cute
All right.
way.
Oh my God.
But no, I fully expect, if I had made the decision to actually have children myself, I would fully expect my husband or father of the child to be there.
Yeah, I'm like, you have to take paternity leave. I'm not going to be by myself.
No.
I'm going to be ruined.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to want to sleep. So you should
God.
get your butt
I'm gonna
home.
want to sleep so bad.
I'm gonna
You
wanna
finally
sleep.
will be able to like sleep on your back or
Right?
like on
Stomach.
no, because you might have a scar or something else. Depends on what it is, right?
But the whole thing is like,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to be their dad.
Yeah. Well, I want you to bear in mind this idea of paternity leave and what you said about shouldn't matter if she did, because her story reminded me of another one that I read about in Japan from a different woman from February of this year, Hikaru Fujita, who ran for office in the parliamentary elections this February.
Okay.
On its face, it's not that impressive. She's a woman running for parliament. But what made her stand out among other candidates was, want to take a guess?
Was she pregnant when she ran?
She was pregnant when she ran.
Ah.
Now, unlike Kawada, who didn't know when she was elected, Fujita ran in large part, well, not because of her pregnancy, but it became a major cornerstone of her campaign, and saying that she wanted to prove expectant mothers could run for office and to send a message to younger generations that you could still do this.
Yes.
And that you can participate in society. Because now I already gave you like the figure for municipal government, but like mothers, young mothers especially, are maybe the most absent group. I don't have a number on that one, but they're very absent from political life, especially in Japanese society. Now, she didn't just decide to do this. This was something that she like really wrestled with before she announced it. And for good reason, because after she did announce it, there were a lot of comments. She received a lot of backlash as well, with people saying that she should make a career as a housewife, or that her maternity leave would be, I'm watching your eyes like dilate. Her maternity leave would be a waste of taxpayer money. She did still get a lot of support, though. So again, remember, like this, the negativity is higher than you would want it to be, but she did get a lot of support. There are videos of her social media campaign, and this is where I first saw her, where like campaigners, young mothers, old women, and other people would come up to her and like shake her hand and like thank her physically and say things like, this sort of thing didn't exist when I was your age. I think this is a great example.
Yeah.
And Prime Minister Takaichi,
Yeah.
who is actually like surprisingly conservative herself when it comes to gender issues, actually came out to campaign for Fujita herself, saying that there is no one more incredible than her. Please give her strength. And Fujita actually did win her election. I followed it up.
Yay.
She's serving as a member of the House of Representatives, a higher body, which is 16% women.
Excellent. But still low.
16% women.
Better than 4.
So now, as much as her story is uplifting, I wanted to share it because both of these women dealt with what is often described as rampant workplace discrimination against young mothers in Japan's workforce.
Yep.
And you see that a lot. Like the reason I said that whole phrase is because that phrase especially pops up a lot. And you may even see it referred to by its shorthand, deceptively cute, matahara, which is maternity harassment. But this idea that women, even in a country like Japan, which has a declining birth rate, and that's like one of the largest stories you see coming out of there, women often feel so pressured that they don't take maternity leave. They don't take enough maternity leave. They might feel like they need to quit their jobs, but it's a very big issue.
Yeah.
So I wanted to share these stories, and it's been on my mind because I kind of am wrestling myself with whether or not these are stories of progress, if these are stories that are highlighting issues, or if they show how much farther we have to go. Maybe it's all three, maybe it's not. And also to what degree these issues are present in other countries, like Taiwan and the United States. Because as I said, Japan is maybe the outlier among its fellow countries, but I don't think that it's unique.
No. I mean, in the United States, I think it is a very different case where if you do take maternity leave, that is frequently unpaid.
Well, also, the United States doesn't offer maternity leave.
It doesn't.
So I should say Japan does have a maternity leave policy outside of politicians. Though, like I said, because of matahara, a lot of women don't take that full amount.
Right. If there are other countries, because I'm actually not very clear about this.
I know, this is the one that Hannah's gone for. I can feel her coming through my headphones to tell me.
Because she's a young mother, right?
Yeah.
So she would totally know. I would say that Japan is probably one of the most conservative because of the amount of pressure that all young people and older people face in their professions. So I believe their suicide rates are one of the highest in
They've actually been dropping. You are right, though, that it, especially like as a professional environment, it's a very high stress.
Very high stress, high pressure environment.
Yeah.
So to answer your previous question, it is all three. There is progress being made.
Yeah.
And I believe you can see that in, I would assume, increasing percentages, even though it is 4 and 16 of women in holding some kind of political office. With especially two trailblazers, the one that actually is taking maternity leave while she is in office, and the one that ran while pregnant. But I do believe there is progress.
Yeah, I would encourage everybody to go read about this because it really is like it. I find them both very impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Michelle, happy 4th of July. At least that will be true by the time that this has aired, and we will have celebrated the 4th of July in whatever way that happens. Oh, I hit something because I was really reaching for a good vibe in the room. So, 4th of July, this one is obviously momentous.
Yes.
It is the United States' 250th anniversary. We can't stop writing about it in the news. We've been seeing it all year. We'll probably keep seeing it all year. And
absolutely.
It is a big benchmark, especially for a relatively young country like the United States. So let's talk about how to celebrate by starting and maybe ending with the Great American State Fair.
Oh, I know it was a flop.
Okay, so let me elaborate. Now, state fairs in America are a big deal. You and I know and love them. And if you haven't been to one, it's basically like a festival anywhere else. Like you can go see animals, like farm animals, and they have contests of like which one is the coolest. They also have contests for different like skill events. And depending on which state you're in, often kind of like determines what that skill event is.
The best pie.
Yeah. Food is a huge thing. Food stalls everywhere. There are little carnival games, and there are usually big shows. That includes like concerts, rodeos, truck racing, like all kinds of fun stuff. It's a great day. That's like a typical state fair. And the Great American State Fair was supposed to be something like that, sort of like a World's Fair. But like, what if every state participated in a state fair at the same place in Washington, D.C.? And I will say, on the surface, it has a lot of good things going for it.
Yeah.
You have food stalls, great food stalls. You have a giant Ferris wheel, which you could ride up and see. And since it's in Washington, D.C., notably, you would be able to see like a lot and a lot of really important things. They also had like musical performances and shows that were happening. They originally booked a lot of very big names. And there was like a booth for every state. And what was supposed to happen was that every state would like participate or basically make something representative of their state history, their specialties. And you could kind of tour the United States by staying in one place. You could also buy a passport. And then you would go around and get it stamped at every one of these places.
Potentially adorable.
I think it has a lot of really good things going for it.
Right.
As you said, though, it was a flop. People just didn't go. A lot of states didn't participate.
Yep.
I'm going to say a lot. I actually don't think it's a lot. I think it's like a minority of states, but it's still like somewhere around 15 states didn't participate.
Right,
so
it was like 15, 20 states
all
did
that
not show up.
Yeah. So their rooms are just like a flag, 2 chairs, and then a stamp so you can stamp it. A lot of the musicians and performers pulled out because Trump was supposed to give a speech there himself. And when people realized that, they just canceled their performances. So a lot of the big name performances just didn't happen. And ultimately, the fair got canceled. So I kind of want to ask you, how do you think that they messed this up? Because don't all Americans love a state fair?
I love a state fair. I mean, I could go to a state fair and eat them all out of funnel cakes, just saying.
Oh, a funnel cake would kill.
Right? And I'm there for the rides, and I'm there for the animals, and it's a fun time.
The nachos, the cardboard nachos.
The cardboard nachos.
Yeah.
But I completely understand what happened. For example, with the talents who canceled are just not in support of the current administration, as with a lot of the states who did not show up. They just did not want to participate in anything.
In that.
They
didn't want to be seen as like condoning Trump or his administration.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that superseded how much we all love a state fair.
Yeah. I think there is something to be said, too, for the fact that like the World Cup is happening right now.
This has been the World Cup has been one of the most wholesome stories that has been live on my feed.
Well, let me talk to you a little bit more broadly then. I'm going to end on this question because I want to discuss the idea of like being American and the idea of being an American overseas right now. And by an American, I mean a United Statesian.
Yeah.
It can feel kind of like a complicated issue. And like speaking from my own perspective, like there's a lot of things that I'm not proud of. There are things that I'm ashamed of.
Yep.
And I often feel like I need to explain or apologize to people for the behavior of my country. And also it's politicians mostly.
It's mostly
the politicians.
Yep.
But at the same time, like you said, with the World Cup, I feel like a large part of the world has seen in some small part the things that I really do love about my country and why I still can't say I hate being American most of the time. Things like that, I think a lot of Americans are actually very kind.
Yep.
And I like how straightforward American culture is most of the time. I obviously love the food, and there are a lot of other things that get into culture that like I'm really proud of, like how most Americans, even on party lines, get so up in arms over the idea of defense of free speech. Like I think there are a lot of things that underlie us. Yeah. So it's not really a very simple I hate my country and I love my country if I try to get down to the bottom of it. And I want to ask you, how do you feel about being American overseas right now?
Yeah, as
during
an
this like
expat,
250
USA and
someone else who also has this sort of like split identity.
I will start this off by saying I am 1,000% a patriot. I do love the United States of America, and I am also coming from to a certain extent from a place of privilege because I grew up. My fence wasn't white picket, but it was brown. Yeah. But I grew up in the suburbs of California, and it was one of those childhoods you see in the movies where one grows up seeing the potential of what this country can be because it is e pluribus unum, out of many one. And I still believe that this is possible. And it actually makes me emotional seeing what's happening right now with the separatism. Yeah. Is that the word for it?
Yeah, I think so. It's just it's so divided.
It's
divided. Very, very divided.
But as you also said, it's mostly the politicians that are causing or perpetuating this problem. But your regular Joe is actually a decent person, and that's really, that's I think the most beautiful part of the United States of America. There's just so many different people that can recognize the humanity in each other.
Yeah.
So,
and that's all the time that we have for today's news report. All of our articles for today's episode are in the show notes. I'm Amanda Stevens.
And I'm Michelle Chiang.
Thank you for joining me today. Michelle, what should people eat over the weekend while I cue in the music?
Oh, it's July 4th, so you got to get like hot dogs or hamburgers.
Get a hamburger, get a burger. If you can do it, grill it outside. And while you do that, remember to stop scrolling, touch grass, and we'll see you next week. You're listening to Radio Taiwan International.